cake to fall?
Another pineapple cake? Ugh.
Never mind. Walk softly. Hold it. What's your hurry?
We have to take the flags down from Earl J. Wagadorn's bedroom.
What for?
So we can put him up in our secret clubhouse.
What secret clubhouse?
The one Mr. Cooper's letting us use in the basement.
He didn't tell us anything about a secret clubhouse.
That's because it's a secret. Oh, Arthur, I'll help!
Earl Corey!
You can ask him!
Yes. Hello, baby.
Ask him!
Ask me what?
About the secret clubhouse you said we can use.
To them, it's a secret clubhouse. To me, it's a storage room completely filled with emptiness.
But you did say they could use it.
Why not? Like nature, I abhor a vacuum.
Most landlords do. Okay, boys, go on.
Yippee!
Boys, be careful of the pineapple cake.
Mr. Cooper, how did you know what's in my oven?
My dear lady, you're looking at a nose that can detect the fragrance of baking goodies at 50 paces against the wind. Usually I fight temptation, but today it happens I'm here to discuss my other vacuum, apartment 6.
You found a tenant.
Not a tenant, 4 tenants. The question is, which applicants do I accept?
You must have decided something.
I have. I decided to let you decide.
Me?
You, Mrs. Wagadorn, Mr. Wagadorn, the Bennetts. In short, all my present tenants will select my future tenants.
That's ridiculous.
If democracy is ridiculous, then it's ridiculous. Just put an X in the box opposite the tenant of your choice.
Hi, Mrs. Douglas. How you doing?
Frantic, Mrs. Wiggleheim.
Wagadorn.
Sorry, you see how frantic I am? Seems like since I moved in, with my husband on the road, all I have time for is work.
I know the problem. Maybe when you're settled, we can get together for a cup of coffee.
Anytime. I'm upstairs next door to Mrs. Baker.
I know. See ya.
Okay. Bye.
That woman, she must think she owns the laundry.
Mrs. Douglas?
It's taken me all day to get my clothes in the machine. You'd think she'd have the decency to observe the schedule.
Maybe she didn't notice there was one.
Oh, she noticed all right. People like her just don't think other people have any rights.
Mrs. Bennett, people like her don't enjoy being called people like her by people like you.
Oh, I didn't mean what you think, Mrs. Wagadorn. I just meant that she was thoughtless.
Well, if she is, she certainly doesn't have a monopoly on it. What is it?
Lyle! He can sure beat those drums. Yeah, pow, bang, rat-a-tat-tat.
Lyle, Mrs. Douglas's son?
Yeah, that new big kid.
Well, at least now I know what it is. I thought for a minute there we were having an earthquake.
What's an earthquake like?
Just like Lyle's drums, only not so loud.
Let's go watch him play some more, L.J. Wagadorn. Yeah, rat-a-tat-tat. You want to come too, Mom?
Not me. You're young enough. Your ears can take it.
Mrs. Wagadorn!
Oh, hello there, Mrs. Bennett. Come on in. Dust.
Noise. That's precisely why I came over. Those drums.
Loud, aren't they?
And very annoying, too. Somebody should talk to Mrs. Douglas about that. And I thought that you might volunteer as a good neighbor to ask Mrs. Baker to do it.
Why Mrs. Baker?
Well, she's closest to her. Apartment-wise, I mean.
I know what you mean. But why can't you say something to the Douglases yourself? Good neighbor-wise, I mean.
I already complained about the laundry schedule and about her parking her car in our space.
That was an accident. She told me about it this morning.
And all those packing cartons she left in the hallway, my husband had to haul away. She's not very friendly to me. So I hope we could get Mrs. Baker to take up the matter of the drums with her.
Why don't you take it up with Mr. Cooper?
Mr. Cooper's at his chess club. He doesn't care anything about his tenants. But somebody's got to do something.
I have one suggestion for you, Mrs. Bennett.
What?
Maybe we should all take up chess.
Why me, Marie?
You know darn well why you. Look, Julia, nobody wants Mrs. Douglas to get the wrong idea, right?
Right.
So you've got to talk to her. You're her closest neighbor, right?
Right.
So those drums have simply got to bother you more than anyone else, right?
Absolutely right.
So if you don't complain, how can any of the rest of us? I mean, without making it look like, oh, you know what I mean.
Oh, I hate to admit it, Marie, but I think you're right.
I am?
Except for one thing. I haven't even heard the drum, so how can I complain?
That's true. I tell you what, why don't you stay home from work today?
What for?
When those drums start, you'll be bothered enough to complain. Golly, it's almost 5:30. In the evening.
What?
I said it's late. I hope my son can sleep through his nap. That's better. At least we can talk.
Did you say your son is having trouble sleeping?
Only recently. My baby son.
Poor thing. What's troubling him, do you suppose?
Offhand, I suppose it's the drums.
Yes. Children are so fascinated by the beat. Lyle's been playing since he was 4 years old.
I can believe it.
Lyle's determined to follow in his father's footsteps. Mr. Douglas has played with all the big ones. Billy May, Duke, Artie Shaw. And remember Lucky Millender?
His records, yes. Where's your husband now?
On the road with Big Betty and the Brownstones. Do you know the act?
Only if they've made 99-cent albums.
You just wait until Milton comes back from the road. When he and Lyle start rehearsing together, you'll really hear some drumming.
Lydia! It's too loud! He'll wake the dead!
Lyle! Mrs. Wagadon's right, son. It's getting too loud. You've got to stop.
Prove it. I'll switch to my guitar.
You get it, Ma.
No, you get it, Corey. That's enough practice.
Good evening, Corey. Is your mother on the premises?
No, she's on the kitchen.
Come in, Mr. Cooper.
I just want a small favor. Could I possibly borrow a cup of honey until tomorrow?
Oh, certainly, if I have some. Now, Corey, you get ready for bed.
Do I have to brush my tooth?
You have to brush all your teeth. Now, scoot. Honey, here. Will half a jar be enough?
Plenty. I want to make a guggle-muggle.
A what?
Guggle-muggle, an ancient family sedative. Half milk, half honey, mix in a raw egg, and you sleep like a baby.
Well, since when have you had insomnia?
Since the complaint started about the boys drumming.
Now, who would complain about Corey's tap-tap-tapping on a book?
Not Corey's tap-tap-tapping. Lyle's boom-boom-boom-a-dooming. You haven't heard it?
No, but I've heard about it.
Believe me, Lyle's drums are a 2 on the Richter scale at Caltech.
Have you tried talking to her about it?
I tried.
And?
It didn't start out too well. But I must say, I handled it so beautifully.
Yes?
It wound up a total disaster. She couldn't seem to understand that all that banging and twanging was not exactly a Brahms lullaby.
You know, I think you've all been so careful not to hurt her feelings that you...
Hurt her feelings. I got it, Mrs. Baker. I don't want it, but I got it. And now that I think about it, all the tenants voted the Douglases in, so all the tenants are stuck with the problem. Tomorrow, I will call a conference in my apartment. It's Saturday.
Democracy in action again.
Exactly. As my cousin Irwin always says, there's more than one way to skin a mink.
You mean a cat.
I mean a cat. You mean a cat. But my cousin Irwin means mink. He's a furrier. Thank you.
Good night.
More coffee, tea, or halva?
Is halva fattening?
Sesame seeds, honey, and almonds fattening.
I'll stick with my tea.
I'll have another piece of halva. I'll take it off on the jogging program.
Oh. If we stay here long enough and keep eating, we'll all need jogging programs.
Are you sure Mrs. Douglas will come, Mr. Cooper?
She didn't say she wouldn't. On the other hand, she didn't say she would.
Maybe that's her answer.
If it is it a yes or a no? I can't read drums.
Now, try to keep the conversation going naturally. But don't try too hard to make it sound unnaturally natural. Naturally. Mrs. Douglas, look who's here. Come in, please. You know everyone, of course.
Hello, Mrs.
Hello.
Please sit down.
Won't you have something, Lydia?
Try the halva. It's full of scrumptious calories.
Thank you. I don't care for anything.
Not even a glass of tea?
Why don't we get right to the point?
What point? This is not a congressional investigating committee. We're just gathered here in the spirit of friendship and good neighborliness. And if by chance we happen to touch on some common problems...
There's only one common problem around here, Mr. Cooper. You people have been picking on me since I moved in. First, there was the bit about the laundry room. Then the mistake about the parking spaces. And a few packing cartons in the hallway. Maybe next you won't like the way I brush my hair or walk up and down the stairs.
Mrs. Douglas, believe me, no one here has anything against you.
You know that goes for my family, Lydia.
That's what you say, but I didn't notice the welcome wagon at my door either.
Lydia, it's true we didn't give you a warm reception. And we're probably wrong about that. But there's a reason. We're all very busy people.
Not too busy to kick up a fuss behind my back about a little drum playing.
Excuse me, Mrs. Douglas. It's not exactly a little drum playing. A little drum playing is tickety-tickety-tick. But with your son, bless his healthy hands, it's tickety-boom, tickety-boom, boom, boom. And this is only an apartment house, not the Hollywood Bowl.
You landlords. In your book, the tenant is always wrong.
In my book, you're the one who's wrong.
I'm sorry we're upsetting you, lady. Maybe you'd be happier if my son practiced on the streets.
No one is suggesting anything like that, Lydia. We were all hoping you would understand.
Oh, I understand, all right. I understand your kind.
Lydia!
I would have expected the others in this building to complain about my family, but I never thought you'd turn against me. Like the man says, you know your enemies, but watch out for your friends.
I am not your enemy, and I want to be your friend. But I expect my friends to talk straight to me and to permit me to talk straight to them.
Mrs. Baker, from now on, I don't expect to talk to you straight or any other way. Good day.
Well, I guess this wasn't precisely one of the best ideas I ever had.
Oh, it's not your fault, Mr. Cooper. You did the best you could.
I don't get it. I thought if we laid it on the line to her, Mrs. Douglas would understand.
That's what I thought. But maybe we were all wrong.
Right, wrong. What's the difference? The trouble is, ladies, that between the drums and trying to be too tactful and not tactful enough, we forgot one very important point. Mrs. Douglas is first of all a woman.
What's that got to do with it?
Everything. There's no law that says a woman has to be logical about anything, or even a little bit reasonable.
That is it.
Ladies, I'm on yours. Ladies, I'm on yours. Ladies, I'm your host. This is your landlord.
72 degrees outside, so it must be Lyle Douglas.
His non-stop drumming is giving me a non-stop migraine. And now the problem is getting even bigger.
He's expanded into a group.
He's expanded my headache into a group.
That's terrible, Mr. Cooper. What do you intend to do about it?
What I always intend of times of stress. Let the bank foreclose on my mortgage.
Hey, Mom, you want to see our clubhouse?
Well, what kind of a hello is that, young man?
Hello, Mama. Now do you want to see our clubhouse? Yeah, it's neato. You can come too, Mr. Cooper.
Why not? This could be the only nice thing to happen to me all month.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Neato. A regular country club.
And so quiet. What's that?
That's my white Indian guy bedroll in case we want to move in.
Listen, maybe I could move in with you. I don't snore, and I'll bring my own food.
You're too old to belong to our club, Mr. Cooper. Yeah, you must be 165.
You boys really could use another member.
You're too old, too. Anyways, girls aren't allowed.
I wasn't thinking of me. I was thinking of a very nice boy who lives right in this building. And I'll bet if you ask him, he'll even bring his drums.
Lyle Douglas? He's too old, too. It's not. It's too. He almost got hair on his face.
If you take him in, I'll shave him myself.
Well, boys, what do you say?
I say yes. Okay, but he can't be president.
I guess I owe all of you an apology.
Oh, forget it, Lydia. You were only behaving like any loyal mother should.
Loyal maybe, but pretty stiff-necked. Let's face it, I made a mistake.
The important thing is we found a solution for everyone at last.
Such equipment. Are they musicians or electricians?
Mr. Cooper, they play the sounds of the now generation.
Well, I'm also now. But when I was then and I went to a dance, I was lucky if the orchestra had 2 harmonicas and a fiddle.
Looks like they're all set to begin. I wonder who the leader is.
Why, Lyle, of course. 1, 2, 3.
But how can you listen and preserve your sanity?
There's only one way. You have to get involved.
How involved?
With the music, like this.